What up? What up? What up? What up, dude? What's going on? What's going on? What's going on, people? What's going on, everybody? It is Wednesday, hump day, best day of the week, great day to be alive. It is Wednesday. What's going on, Pent?
Wednesday, November 9th, 2022.
Don't just take my word for it. Let Siri talk to you too. You know what I'm saying? Let Siri chime in a little bit as well. What's going on, Panthers Nation? What's going on, public people out there in the internet versus what's going on, man? What's up, y'all? Don't go on to me, Aaron, as quickly on my face. Hey, man. Hey, man. Hey, man. Appreciate it. Tell a friend to tell a friend about your boy. You know, that's how we grow. Word of mouth. You know what I'm saying? A personal reference is the best thing. Look, man, I'm just a guy. So seeing stuff like this really makes me feel good about what I'm doing. You know what I'm saying? It's tough out here being a creator, man. It's a lot of work. It is a lot of work, but seeing y'all being able to interact with y'all, seeing y'all give me the feedback like that, man, it keeps your boy going. I appreciate that, man. All I ask for is a thumbs up. Right now, all I ask for is a thumbs up. If you want to support the channel and donate down there below, obviously, merchandise. You can donate any kind of donations through Cash App or Venmo. But regardless, I appreciate you guys tuning in to your boy. Hey, man, we got a lot of stuff to talk about. This is a jam-packed episode. This is the Dunk on Demand show. I am Dunk. We're getting ready to get into a couple things. So we got to talk about the Panthers and Falcons game. Now, it's not in any particular order. I got the Panthers-Falcons preview. I got headlines coming up. We're going to talk about Frank Reich as a potential coach for the Carolina Panthers, whether it's head coach or offensive coordinator. We're going to talk about both. Obviously, Panthers, like I said, Panthers going to be in primetime tomorrow for Thursday Night Football on Amazon. So we're going to go over that too. Like I said, headlines. And then I'm going to do a segment called, since we're halfway through the season, I have a segment called Contender and Pretender. We're going to go through different teams. I'm going to put up different teams. I want to get you guys' opinion on who you think is a real legit contender to make the playoffs and maybe take a step and go further, and who's a pretender, who has a good record, but they're probably going to sizzle off on this back half of the season because we're halfway through the year, man. The season's already halfway over, and we got to evaluate who's who. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, we're still going to chop it up, talk about Panther stuff, but we're talking about the whole league today, baby. So go ahead and get you a little brewski like your boy. Crack that thing open. Hope you like craft beer, because that's what I'm sipping on tonight. This is Scofflaw. This is a local brewery in my hometown. Sip, sip, sip. Let's get into the comments. Anthony Rochelle, what up, though? Tim Estes, what up, though? Ron the GOAT, what up, though? Mr. Unapologetic, what up, though? Brad Holt, what up, though? Tolu, what up, though? Josh, keep pounding you too, man. What's up, man? It says tough being a Panthers fan right now. You got that right. Keep grinding, keep pounding, man. That's the only thing we can do at this point, man. It's really, what else can you do but keep pounding? You know what I'm saying? We really gotta take that in stride, man, and live that mantra. But yeah, man, I'm back on the live stream. It's been a minute, you know what I'm saying? So just the format, just in case people don't know, the first couple minutes, what I'm going to do, I'm just going to chop it up with y'all, get in the comments. You know, I really don't get to comment and chop it up with y'all like normal stream on normal scenarios, or normal videos, excuse me. So on the stream, I like to interact with you guys a lot more in the comments. The first part is going to be a little bit loose, maybe 5 minutes of just chopping it up with y'all. Get into a couple headlines around the NFL. Our topic of the day is going to be Frank Reich as the coach. We got to preview that Falcons game. And then, of course, contender or pretender. So we got a lot of stuff to cover. I'm not going to waste a lot of time on any particular topic outside of the preview and Frank Reich on the contender pretender. That's the meat and potatoes. So I'm gonna give y'all what I got. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna give y'all what I got. But make sure you guys, like I said, give the video a thumbs up. It really helps me out in the algorithm. You know what I'm saying? It helps the algorithm, gets my videos out there, and the more people the more we grow, the more you know. You know what I'm saying? I made that up. I just made that up, but it sounded good. Let me scoot back from this screen a little bit. So I can see a little bit better. But yeah, man, just some headlines, dog. Like, first couple things I want to start with, man, is just because let me see if I can do. See, why bring back Cam? He's old news. I don't want to bring back Cam. You're not bad. What up, though? You're not bad. I'm not trying to bring back Cam to this mess. We are not in a good place right now. I wouldn't wish being a part of this organization on anybody. I wouldn't. I wouldn't do it, especially as a player. I would not wish being part of this organization on anybody. I don't want to bring Cam back. I want to I want to respect the legends. Now they bring Cam back on some BS and let him be the head coach like Jeff Saturday. That'd be crazy. Imagine they fired Matt Rule and made Cam Newton the head coach or Greg Olson. You know what I'm saying? Like that. That's how wild this thing in Indianapolis was. So we can talk about that as a headline. The headline is Jeff Saturday hired as interim head coach after Frank Reich got fired after 4 or 5 seasons in Indianapolis. That's crazy. Now, hiring Jeff Saturday is just out of pocket. It's just random. Apparently, they wanted him to be a part of the front office for years. Jim Irsay, the owner, he's a big fan of Saturday. We know Saturday was the center with Peyton Manning during their Super Bowl runs. So I get the respect that's there. But it's an interim coach job, but this is just a microcosm of the whole controversy going on with Brian Flores in the lawsuit. Like the fact that dudes are jumping the line like this to get opportunities, even if it's an interim opportunity. Because if let's say it works out, let's say Jeff Saturday ends up turning this team around, they miraculously win this trash division that the Titans are leading right now, he's going to be the permanent coach. Irsay said that. Oh yeah, we'll hope this is da 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 da. I mean, some owners may blow smoke to try to mask off that they may be tanking. I think Jim Irsay legitimately wants Jeff Saturday to be successful, so he has a reason to hire him. Regardless, I think Jeff Saturday will be a part of this organization in some form or fashion going forward. But being able to jump the line as an interim coach, there's plenty of guys that actually have a desire to coach. Jeff Saturday coached some screw-up team over here in Georgia last time we heard, and he works for NFL Live and ESPN. I like Jeff Saturday. But we know Irsay be on the sauce. You know he be on that white girl, that Tony Montana. So he's going to make crazy decisions like this. At the end of the day, these owners can do what they want. You can't force them to hire black coaches. We just want to give black coaches the opportunities to prove that they can be these guys. Because black coaches will never get these sight unseen type of jobs. Reggie Wayne, borderline Hall of Fame receiver, is a receiver coach for the Colts. Why not promote him to be the guy? He's on the staff. He's not working for ESPN. I mean, he used to be commentator. But that's the definition of nepotism. Somebody one of the comments said nepotism. He didn't even say nepotism. He called it nepotism. It's all nepotism, man. The same way Matt Rule was hiring all his homeboys that were unqualified for an NFL job, the same way he was unqualified because he looked like David Tepper or he was a fry cook. Shoot, I'm a fry cook. I'm underqualified to be the Panthers head coach. I worked for McDonald's for 7 years. He said he liked Matt Rule because he was sweaty. I get sweaty. But he also said that he likes Matt Rule because he looks like him. If you're only hiring coaches that look like you, there's no black owners, no black coaches are going to get an opportunity. That's kind of what it comes down to, man. You know what I'm saying? Yes, it's just an interim opportunity, but we've just never seen this type of nepotism. This is nepotism on a whole nother level. This is nepotism on a whole nother level. You got the nasty websites in the comments again. Like I said, we got the nasty websites in the comments again. That's when I officially know that I'm doing something right. When you got them nasty comments, the spam, the adult dating websites, the OnlyFans, bots in your comments, are you really popping unless you have those in your comments? Huh? Are you really popping if you don't have those in your comments? You know what I'm saying? We made it. Mama, we made it. We made it. Y'all don't click on them links. Don't click on them links. I can't be held responsible. Don't click on them links. Even though the comments slowed down a little bit. The comments slowed down a little bit once that adult website came in the comments. Y'all click that link. Don't click that link. Don't click that link. Y'all should know better. But yeah, man, it's shout out to Sweaty Line because, yeah, man, come on, man. Come on. Hiring Matt Rule because he was sweaty. And he was a line cook. Bro, like I said, I worked at McDonald's for 7 years. From 16 to 23, I worked for McDonald's. I'm underqualified to be the Panthers coach, but you'll never see me getting these type of opportunities, especially getting 7 years, 60-something million. This is just crazy. This is just crazy. But the Colts, I mean, like I said, these owners, they're going to do what they want to do. You can't really make them do it. So the Rooney Rule is just BS. This is just confirmation that the Rooney Rule is BS. This is just another thing for Brian Flores' lawyers to add to the docket or whatever for this lawsuit. But it is what it is. Now, y'all laughing. Don't click those links. I can't be held responsible. I banned them. I banned it from the chat, but I can't be held responsible if y'all click them links. We're going to talk a little bit more about Frank Reich, but we got more headlines. Next headlines. Jay-Z and Jeff Bezos potentially partnering to buy the Washington Commanders after Dan Snyder inquires with Bank of America about selling. So we know Jeff Bezos got all the money in the world. Why does he need to partner with anybody, first of all? And not to mention, he's been trying to get in the league for a minute. He still need to work out the kinks with Thursday Night Football on Amazon. I know he's just on board. He's not the guy anymore. He kind of moved himself. He just kind of, but he needs to work out the kinks with Thursday Night Football. I got a Fire Stick. I run the Amazon app and it's buffering. My internet is fine. I'm using the same internet that I stream Thursday Night Football with. I'm streaming right now on the internet. If there's any issues, let me know. But I use the same internet and I still get buggy buffering on Thursday Night Football. So Jeff Bezos is worried about buying a team when he can't even get this right here. First of all, now Jay-Z. I don't trust Jay-Z. I'm going to just tell you that right now. I don't trust Jay-Z. I appreciate a black man being successful. I'm not hating. But clearly he's out for himself. People have this preconceived notion. They want to. I root for people that's black. Let's just to get that clear. I respect a black man getting that bag, but to think that him and Beyonce are out for any more than themselves is just short-sighted. Whatever, call it what it is. They can act like what they want to act, but it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? Jay-Z, Beyonce dropping these $1 million tickets for her tour that's coming up. Jay-Z, he just moves how he wants to move. Because I don't trust Jay-Z. Because look at the whole thing. Jay-Z doesn't hold on to assets. We do need a black owner in the NFL, but we need somebody that's in it for the long haul. Jay-Z is probably not going to be in there for the long haul. He doesn't hold on to assets. He doesn't. This man sold Rockaware. Him and Dame Dash got into beef. He had to split off and make Rock Nation. He didn't hold on to that. He had to create his own thing. Rockaware got sold in that deal, I think, as well. Tidal. He tried to take on Spotify, Apple Music, try to be a big guy. He couldn't get more subscribers than Napster. Napster ain't been around. Napster was the OG bootlegging music on electronic stuff. He was his subscriber count on Tidal was with Napster. But then he took his music catalog off of everything else so he could put it on Tidal. But then he ended up putting it back on all the music things because they paid him. And then Tidal's there, so everybody wants to support black businesses. So we're listening to Tidal, even though the app is buggy. Nobody really uses it like that. The quality of the sound is supposed to be better. But then he turns around and sells Tidal. Like, we're invested in this because we're trying to support a black man's business. You turn around and sell Tidal to Jack Dorsey and Square. Jack Dorsey that founded Twitter, he sold it off to Jack Dorsey. Now Jay-Z doesn't own anything of Tidal. So you got all these folks supporting you, trying to support your movement, when you really, like I tell you, Jay-Z is not for anything out for himself. He does not hold on to assets. I respect the black man getting money. You don't become a billionaire without making good business decisions for yourself. He does some stuff in the community, of course, but at the end of the day, he's worried about his bottom line just like any other billionaire. Jay-Z just wants to be a part of that exclusive club. This man had 1% of Brooklyn, the Nets. He tried to make it seem like he owned the whole thing, but he had 1% and got out of that just so he could start Rock Nation Sports. This man does not hold on to assets. Shoot, he'll have to divest himself from Rock Nation just to buy the Commanders probably. You can't be an agent and an owner of the team. He doesn't hold on to assets, man. I didn't trust him when he was interested in getting the Broncos. I don't trust him now. We'll see what happens. He said, how am I supposed to meet sexy singles in my area without chat links? Hey, don't click on them links. Don't click on them links. Your information will be on the dark web by midnight. Your information will be on the dark web by midnight. You click on them links. I'm telling you, your information will be out on the dark web. Your identity going to be stolen. Next thing you know, your car getting rang up for a hot dog and a taxi cab out in California. Meanwhile, you live in North Carolina. These scammers are out here, bro. This is a recession. Inflation is the all-time high. Do not fall for these scams. Do not fall for these scams. Headline: Odell Beckham Jr. has been cleared of injury by doctor and looks to sign with a team. What is taking OBJ so long? What's taking Odell so long to find a squad? I'm just curious. I mean, obviously the injury was a thing. He could have got paid to rehab with somebody. I told y'all before. Well, last year when with the whole, remember the whole little episode with the Browns? They tried to trade him, but they ended up just getting rid of him. Then he ended up picking where he wanted to go. He smartly picked the Rams, got the ring, didn't get a ton of money, got the ring, was a number 2 wide receiver next to Kupp, and that was a perfect scenario for him. Ended up probably was on track to be Super Bowl MVP had he not got hurt. But back then, he didn't have as much leverage. OBJ just wants to be wanted. He does. He wants to be liked and wants to be wanted. Think about it. As a football player, besides choosing where you go to college, you don't have any control. I mean, you have a little bit more. You don't have any control of your football destiny. Coming out of LSU, you think he wanted to be drafted by the Giants? One of the worst organizations in the league. It ended up helping his star power because of the catch and being in New York. He didn't choose that, though. He probably would have chose somewhere else. Probably would have chose to play with Jarvis Landry, whatever. Then David Gettleman traded him to the Browns. He didn't choose the Browns. Played with Baker Mayfield. Landry was his friend and stuff, but not an ideal scenario playing with Stefanski in a non-quarterback friendly offense. You think he wanted that? He didn't have a choice. He got shipped around. And then his first chance to really hit free agency was when the Browns let him go. He drugged that out too. He wanted to be courted. He likes being mentioned on social media by all the players, adding him, telling him to come on. Finally chose the Rams. Gets him a ring. Helps it, plays a solid role, helps get them a ring. Now he's back on the market. Now the trade deadline is passed. Somebody mentioned that the trade deadline is passed. He can see where his options are. Green Bay is desperate. Buffalo wants him. Von Miller's over here adding him, talking about, hey, man, I left the Rams. You come over here. The Cowboys, now he's saying he's interested in the Cowboys. A reunion with the Giants. Now that they're 6-2. I don't know who wants to play with Daniel Jones. But he's just pulling random teams out of the hat. The Cowboys, the Giants, the Bills. The Rams are lowballing, but the Rams are there. OBJ just wants to be wanted. He's going to drag this out probably a little bit longer, let all this stuff happen, do all these interviews, chop it up on social media with all his friends. He wants to be wanted. We all want to be wanted at the end of the day. I think that's what OBJ wants to do. He's dragging it out. He wants to be wanted. Where does he go? The Rams would be smart to throw a bag at him, but they won't. I don't think Dallas is a bad destination. We're going to talk about them in contender or pretender later. I don't think Dallas is a bad choice. I don't think Dallas is a bad choice. With a star on his helmet, he's going to get all the press he needs. He has the ring. They're going to throw a bag at him probably. Got a quality quarterback in Dak Prescott. I can see Odell going to Dallas, man. I can see Odell going to Dallas. Stay in the NFC is weaker. You have a better chance of going back to the Super Bowl. All right, so since the election was yesterday, we got to talk about this headline. With new updates to Twitter's verification, parody accounts pop up for Adam Schefter and LeBron James. Fake tweets show up as Adam Schefter stating that Josh McDaniels, head coach of the Raiders, has been fired, along with the fake LeBron James page requesting a trade from the Lakers. Both had blue checks. So if you haven't been living on a rock, follow me on Twitter, by the way, at Dunk on Demand. However, the whole thing now, they're trying to get rid of bots. Elon Musk bought Twitter. He's trying to charge $8 a month to have a Twitter premium to be able to get a blue check. That way you're verified. There's people that already had a blue check that's saying they don't want to pay for this because they know they're already verified. They know who they are. And Elon Musk is trying to get rid of the bots and the spam and the misinformation problem that these Russian bots do to try to rig elections and sway different things and free speech or whatever. That's what it's about. He wants the blue checks to be able to have somebody verified. So you can either get a blue check from being verified as an important news figure, or you can get a blue check from paying for it. And so what people are doing are paying for it, but they're still creating parodies. Now, Elon Musk has said that if you create a parody account, if you try to fake as somebody else and don't say that you're a parody, you're permanently banned. Kathy Griffin got banned. Some other YouTuber got banned for faking as Elon and tweeting, even though they seemed like they were kind of following the rules. And that's exactly what these guys did. Somebody created a parody account from Adam Schefter, tweeted out that looked like a real tweet. It had a check. It had Adam's screen name and his profile picture, and it fooled everybody. I saw at least 5 people that I follow comment on the Raiders because they run through coaches so much about firing Josh McDaniels. We are all susceptible to fake news at some point. We know Ball Sack Sports has been fooling people for a while, but a page called Ball Sack, if you fall for that, you're the damn fool. Let's be clear. If you fall for a Ball Sack report at this point, you're the fool, for one. 2, these verified accounts, you got to be able to look at the @ Do your research. Look at the @ and verify it before you just tweet anything. Because people are falling for it. They are. Because LeBron, I'm sure he probably wants out of LA, but he didn't say that. The Raiders, they have underachieved, and Josh McDaniels seems to be just another failed attempt with him as a head coach and as another failed Bill Belichick assistant. They haven't fired him yet. But people are susceptible to this type of fake news. Confirmation bias, like something that you say, hey, I always thought that Josh McDaniels may get fired. Me seeing this, I'm easier to believe it. If it seems, some stuff just seems outlandish to the point that you can kind of figure out that it's fake. But a lot of stuff is confirmation bias. The science behind fake news and all that misinformation, I'm not going to get into that. But I just thought it was ironic that the blue check is supposed to help be verified, but it's backfiring. Elon Musk already said that we're going to try a bunch of different stuff. A lot of it's not going to work. We'll work through it. I don't understand what his goal was for buying Twitter. He overpaid for it. It's a great app, but it's a failing company. It's a great app, but it's a failing company. I love Twitter for the comedy, for everything, but it's not making any money. They can't advertise correctly. Advertisers are leaving. People are talking about finding an alternative, but there is no alternative. Kind of is what it is. Okay, last one. Headline: Tom Brady and estranged wife Giselle, along with Steph Curry, lose millions of dollars on cryptocurrency investment. Y'all heard about this? So Tom Brady and Giselle, obviously they were married. They invested in this app called FTX. It's like a trading platform for cryptocurrency, and they have their own crypto, FTX. Steph Curry was another celeb in it. Like they get influencers on, they pay them in cryptocurrency or pay them in ownership of the company, and they let them be partners and show off things. Apparently, they went under. They didn't have the money to pay out the people that were trying to sell stuff off with the recession going on and inflation. A lot of these companies are going under because people aren't buying crypto. If people aren't buying crypto, they can't charge fees. If they can't charge fees, they're not making money. So they went under. They were about to get bought out, but they didn't. But meanwhile, Tom Brady and Giselle apparently have a stake worth around $650 million. Now, if you go to Google, you'll look at Tom Brady's net worth is $250 million, and Giselle's is $400 million. Combined, that's $650. Some people think that's their whole life savings put into a crypto company that's gone. That's not exactly the case. They've lost a lot of money because this company has lost over 80% of investments in days. The owner was worth $11 billion just 2 days ago, and his net worth has gone down to $19 million, something like that. That's a lot of money. Basically, he lost 90% of the money that he had invested in the company is gone. So Tom Brady was an influencer. He did commercials last year. Steph Curry did commercials last year. Him and Giselle had positions in the company. $650 million was how much they owned in that company at its peak. It was like valued at $15 billion. And they owned over $500 million in that. Gone in like 2 days. Tom Brady's been having a rough season. The Bucs suck. He's going through a divorce. He's old. And now he lost a ton of money in crypto. Tom Brady's an everyday guy now. He's just an everyday guy. Sucky job. He had a sucky job, marriage trouble, lost a ton of money based off of the economy and getting finessed. I mean, that sounds like a regular dude. Don't sound like a goat to me. It sounds like a regular dude. But $650 million reduced 90%. That's crazy. This man really is going to be playing until he's 50 years old. Now that he doesn't have his wife to worry about to hold him back and he lost all his money in crypto, he's going to be playing for forever to earn this money. I thought Tom Brady would be done this year. He may just have to work for the rest of his life to get that money back. $650 million. I mean, it's paper money, monopoly money until you sell it. Because I doubt Tom Brady put a lot of money into it. I'm thinking they just probably paid him in equity. And every time he owned something, he would get another percentage of the company. Every month that came by, he would get a percentage of the company. Or they pay him in crypto. He could sell the crypto when he wanted to. I'm sure he probably tried to sell it too. He's probably part of the reason why it went under. But he didn't put all his net worth in there like everybody thinks and just lose it all. That's not how these type of partnerships work. Brad Holt said, "A fool and his money are soon parted." Wise words. Wise words. Crypto is very risky. I own me a little bit of Bitcoin, but I'm not putting that. I don't own $650 million worth of Bitcoin. I'm not putting all that money into crypto. Can't take that money with you. Might as well blow it, huh? Ron, hit the like button. Hit the like button, please. If you have not, hit the like button. But yeah, Steph Curry even got hit too. All right. So let's talk about Frank Reich. We talked about the Colts. Let's talk about Frank Reich as a potential coach. So Frank Reich, I know a lot of fans are young. I mean, I'm not old. I'm 30 what? How old am I? 31 years old. Frank Reich, I mean, the Panthers were started in 1995 was the inaugural season. 95 was the first season for the Carolina Panthers. So Frank Reich was the first quarterback in franchise history. People don't really know that. Yes, he was the coach, but he was a former quarterback. Had a long NFL career. Ended up losing his position eventually, I guess, to Kerry Collins probably sometime. I mean, I was 95. I was only 4 years old. I'm not going to try to date. I'm not going to try to son y'all or anything like that. But yeah, I'm not going to try to son y'all like that. But Frank Reich was a former Panther. We know Frank Reich was part of the Eagles' Super Bowl run with Doug Peterson. 5 years in Indianapolis. Winning record. He was 40-33-1 as a coach. Let me reset a little bit. Like I said, Frank Reich, he got fired. Let's start there. Frank Reich, he got fired. 5 seasons, 40-33-1 as a coach. Winning record. Former Panther quarterback, known as a pretty good offensive mind. Like I said, he worked under Doug Peterson on that Super Bowl run, helped Carson Wentz put together a potential MVP season before he got hurt, helped get Nick Foles through the playoffs and win that Super Bowl. RPO specialist. I mean, he's not a terrible coach. Now, why did he get fired? I don't know. 5 different quarterbacks in 5 seasons in Indianapolis. Andrew Luck retired on him. After Andrew Luck retired, he pretty much got screwed over. Because Andrew Luck, he used to get beat up. Luck retired. He got stuck with Jacoby Brissett. Then what? Phillip Rivers for a year, they won 11 games. Not bad. They tried to get Carson Wentz because they had that rapport. We're pretty much on the cusp of a playoff berth, but they laid an egg in week 18 to the Jaguars and missed the playoffs. And then they tried to rekindle that Phillip Rivers type magic by getting another vet. So they brought in Matt Ryan, who was on the outs after the Deshaun Watson debacle in Atlanta. And you see what happened. I don't think Matt Ryan should have been benched. Now this year, how bad the offense has been, I don't know. They thought they were a quarterback away. They tried to cheat the quarterback grind, just like Matt Rule. They tried to. Sometimes you have to groom a young quarterback and get your own. Yes, Frank Reich has a winning record as a coach, 40, 33, and 1. Playoff berth. Even the year that they lost Andrew Luck, they went 7-9. They're in quarterback purgatory right now. They've been in quarterback purgatory because they had a playoff caliber roster who was a quarterback away, they thought. But things just haven't worked out for them. And like I said, the sudden retirement of Andrew Luck pretty much sent everything into a frenzy. And after I saw that press conference with the Colts owner and GM when they introduced Jeff Saturday, they're not all the way there. We know Irsay has been drinking and his own drugs. He just says anything. He's an owner. Like I said, these owners do whatever they want. They're not all the way there. So I don't know how much say-so Frank Reich had on the roster with a guy like Chris Ballard and Jim Irsay. Ballard seems to be a lame duck, and Irsay seems to be Jerry Jones. Meddling in the team, talks a lot, tweets a lot. He tweets. He doesn't get in front of the mic like Jerry. He tweets. He has a Twitter where he gives updates. We have released Frank Reich. We will be starting Sam Ehlinger at quarterback. That's the type of owner that he is. Now, coming to Carolina, this is a different type of dysfunction with the owner. I hope and assume David Tepper will be stepping back a lot more if he finds somebody he can trust. But could Frank Reich potentially come to Carolina? If he doesn't get the head coaching job, let's say Wilkes does enough to get opportunity as the head coach, I don't think McAdoo will be around regardless. I just don't see McAdoo staying around. I don't see McAdoo. McAdoo wasn't Wilkes' choice. Wilkes probably doesn't want to do it his way. He didn't really get a lot of say-so in Arizona. He's going to want to get the people that he wants. He's been firing staff left and right. I do not see Steve Wilkes being nice and giving McAdoo another chance. There has been nothing that we've seen this year that shows that Ben McAdoo deserves to return. A couple good games with PJ, but besides that, everything has been not good. Now, have these been ideal quarterbacks for McAdoo? I don't think so. I think McAdoo was kind of banking on Matt Corral eventually coming soon and using Matt Corral a lot more. That didn't work out. It is what it is. But regardless, should Frank Reich be brought in as an offensive coordinator or as a head coach potentially as well? I would not be opposed to that. I floated the idea around some of my peers a couple weeks ago, just curious seeing what they thought. Nobody really gave me anything, but then it became available because I saw the writing was on the wall. After Matt Rule got fired, I was like, Frank Reich would probably be next. Would he be potentially there? Like I was asking the question, I'm like, is he just riding that Andy Reid, Doug Peterson coattail? Anybody that works for those guys or Sean McVay gets a shot. Maybe he's not that good of a coach. I haven't dove into Frank Reich's philosophy like that, but that much RPO, that sounds like a lot of the things that Matt Corral did in college. Developing a young quarterback in Carson Wentz through the RPO. I mean, not saying Carson Wentz and Matt Corral are the same guy. Not saying Matt Corral will be that guy. Whether the Panthers stick with Corral or draft a quarterback, is Frank the type of guy that you could give? He has experience working with young guys. Like I said, they tried to cheat the grind by getting these veteran coaches, quarterbacks, Rivers, Ryan. They had Brissett and Wentz as well. But if you gave him a quarterback to start from scratch and mold them, a former quarterback, former Panther, he's currently in North Carolina right now. They put a tweet out that said that Frank Reich is visiting his grandchildren in North Carolina. He's spending time with them, trying to take some things off, has a desire to be a head coach. It's that the guy that put that out had an interview with Frank Reich. That sounds like not a cry for help, but it sounds like hey, I'm available if you want to interview me. I think he would be at worst, he is worth a look and an interview. Because he'll have to go through, even if Wilkes gets hired, there'll still be an interview process. Obviously, Wilkes will be considered, regardless of how things go, because of the Rooney Rule. But I just don't think there's a way that Frank Reich doesn't get considered. Been to the playoffs, winning record as a head coach, experience as a Super Bowl ring as offensive coordinator. He's experienced. He's an offensive mind. We saw Doug Peter a lot. Some people may be sour on him because of how things went left in Indy, but we saw things go left in Philly, and Doug Peterson bounced back. Is in Jacksonville. They started off kind of hot. They fizzled out as well, but we've seen these guys get other opportunities. Now, does Frank Reich come in and be the play caller as offensive coordinator, or if he becomes a coach, does he bring in another guy? Hopefully, he doesn't bring in like Matt Nagy or anybody. Matt Nagy's he's on staff with Andy Reid or whatever now. But Frank Reich is a legit possibility. I'm under the impression that I want an offensive coach for the Panthers. I want an offensive. We've had defensive coaches for a while. Foxy, Rivera. Matt Rule really doesn't have a specialty per se, but we haven't had an offensive-minded head coach in franchise history. Let's get a guy in that maybe that knows quarterback play, that's played quarterback, that's Super Bowl caliber. I either want one of these innovative young guys that's coming off this McVay tree that can think forward, or I would love a guy that has experience as a head coach that can help stable the ship, work well with Scott Fitter, not some toxic environment like Chris Ballard and Irsay or David Tepper and Matt Rule. Get somebody that has some experience and knows what they're doing, that's been to the mountaintop as a coordinator, that's been to the playoffs as a head coach, that knows the Panthers because he's been a Panther, even if it was just for a year. He has some ties to North Carolina. He will be open to considering. There's not going to be too many coaches out there considering the Panthers just because David Tepper is probably terrible to work for. The price tag will be super high because they saw what Matt Rule got paid with no experience. And they're probably just going to be taking these interviews with them just to leverage it against something else. Frank Reich being on the rebound is a buy low scenario on a quality coach. I mean, he could fizzle out. Ron Rivera was a successful coach in Carolina, and he hasn't really done a ton in Washington besides go to the playoffs that one year. I'll say that. But Frank Reich, I mean, he checks a lot of boxes, man. He checks a lot of boxes. I would not be opposed to that. Like I said, the RPO is very intriguing. Matt Corral ran a lot of RPO in college. We could be in position to draft a young quarterback, most likely. That's something appealing to a guy like Wright, to get his guy in there that he wants to mold. Hopefully it's Bryce Young. But I just think that it's something to consider with Frank Reich. 40-33-1 as a coach, winning record, playoff background, Super Bowl pedigree. I like it. Y'all let me know if y'all like the Reichs. Y'all seem to be liking it in the comments. Y'all let me know if y'all like the potential of Frank Reich. Some people still want a defensive coach like DeMeco Ryans. That's fine. I'm under the impression of get you an offensive head coach that can think ahead and use the rules. Load up your defense with talent. That way anybody can coach. You see what the 49ers do? They've been to multiple Super Bowls. They haven't got over the mountaintop. They've been to multiple. Kyle Shanahan, as misguided and cocky as he is, he's very confident in his ability to call plays and generate offense. So he calls the offense as the head coach, puts together that system, makes the system work. And all they do is just load up on defense. Warner, Bosa, they had Butner a little bit ago before they got rid of him. They have a lot of talent on defense. They just load up on defense. But what they have a revolving door at defensive coordinator though, because they keep having great defense. The defense continues to outshine the offense because the talent is there. You get a defensive coach, you can get anybody to coach that defense when you have that much talent. No slight to anybody that's come out of there, especially DeMeco. I like DeMeco. But Vic Fangio was the defensive coordinator there. Ended up getting a job with the Bears, and then the Broncos. Because of his style, he coached a good defense there. Robert Saleh. They had a lot of talent. He ended up parlaying that into a job in New York, doing a pretty decent job there. Now DeMeco Ryans, he put his own little spin on the defense. I can't give all the credit to the prior coaches, But with all that talent, it's hard not to be productive. Playing defense is harder in the NFL than offense. The rules are slanted towards the offense. So you load up on talent and let somebody coach it, and then you do your thing on offense. I think it's a good recipe. You guys let me know how y'all feel about it, man. Y'all let me know how y'all feel about it. Okay? Sorry, I'm just taking notes. All right, guys. Let's talk about this game tomorrow. I'm nervous, guys. I'm not going to lie. I'm nervous. Y'all know what time it is, man. Panthers in prime time are it's a recipe for disaster. I still have not gotten over the Steelers versus the Panthers game when we were 6-2. Cam Newton's shoulder was obliterated on national television. They didn't call that penalty. And it's been downhill ever since. Prime time is always a disaster for us. It's a disaster. Primetime games are not good for the Carolina Panthers. I don't know why. I'm excited to see these black helmets. I'm terrified that this Hurricane Nicole is coming through. We'll be hitting approximately the whole time, 20 to 30 mile per hour winds, heavy downpour. It's going to be ugly. We played, 2 years ago? That was 2020? We played the Falcons in the rain as well. Remember, it wasn't as bad, but Teddy, we played the Falcons in the rain as well. Teddy threw that red zone interception. We had a chance to come back. Teddy threw that red zone pick in the rain. It was a tough game. We're not a good throwing team anyway. The Falcons aren't either. They like to run the ball. Their best player on offense is back, Cordero Patterson. It's going to be a tough game. Our defense has been gassed on the ground the past 2 weeks. One of the most overrated running backs in the NFL, Joe Mixon, looked like Jim Brown on us last week. Couldn't tackle him. Couldn't stop the run. Couldn't stop the pass. 35-0 at halftime. We're down bad. I'm a pretty optimistic Panthers fan, but if we lose tomorrow, man, I'm not saying it's time to tank. I just tell you, I'll be allocating my time and resources towards looking at college prospects. I'm telling y'all right now. Y'all may be interested in the draft anyway. I'm gonna start posting more. I may do some mock drafts every so often, but I'm gonna start doing prospect film and prospect profiles. That's just where I'm at right now with this team. The division will still be up for grabs. Believe it or not, I went to Cherokee last week. I went to Cherokee, North Carolina last week, and I put down money on the Panthers to win the NFC South. Look at that. Panthers win NFC South. As silly as I am, I don't know if it's on focus or not. You can see it right there. Panthers, NFC South winner. I put it down. Call me crazy. It cost me $15. If they win a division, I win $500. It seemed worth it to me. The division it's a crapshoot. So might as well throw some money in the wishing well. So I'm still I'm literally invested. Like this is a sports betting ticket. I'm literally invested in the Panthers winning. Am I crazy? Probably. But this division is so trash, I can't rule out anything. However, if they lose tomorrow, I'm allocating my time and resources to looking at prospects and the draft. Just letting you guys know. I'll still be doing Panthers videos, but I will be dropping potential quarterbacks, receivers, the line, like different prospects, obviously, that the Panthers could be considering. Yeah, $15 to win $500. I mean, come on. I mean, it is what it is. They're not out of it. They win tomorrow, they're right back in it. You know, things could turn quick. Just in case, like I said, I'm literally invested in it. I want the team to win. I'm not rooting for a tank. I want the team to win. Like I said, I literally put my money where my mouth is. I'm not rooting for them to tank. I'll never do that. But at the same time, I'll start turning the page, looking forward a little bit more. Hope we win, especially because I hate the Falcons. I always want to win a division game regardless, but it is what it is. I don't think there's going to be a lot of points scored. If you're a betting man like me, the total is 42.5 points, but combined for both teams, I like the under. I like the under on DJ Moore, 60-something, 62 yards receiving. I like the under on that. I like the under on made field goals. The over-under for made field goals is 2. I like under. It's going to be windy. Eddie Pinheiro can't make field goals indoors. He's not going to make one outdoors. Not in the rain. I like the under on that as well, if you're a betting person. But the game, the Falcons are a 3-point favorite on the road in Carolina. It's going to be tough because A.J. Terrell, their best corner, is out. DJ Moore had a great game last time. But we're not going to be indoors in perfect conditions. It's going to be raining. That ball is going to be heavy. That ball is going to be slippery. That ball is going to be slick. P.J. Walker throwing bullets. It's not going to go over well. We had our tight ends dropping passes going straight through their hands last week when it was dry in perfect weather. The ball would not be going in the air a lot. They're going to be, you really just got to play it slow. Play it slow. Be careful. Wait for somebody to make a mistake. That would be my coaching philosophy. So don't expect a lot of points. I know we're going to have those cool, cute, good-looking black helmets on. That's going to be fire. I just wish it was under better conditions. Literally, under better conditions. It's hard. Like a football is oblong shape. It's not round like a basketball. It can bounce either way. In the rain, it could be even more. I really have no inkling on this game. I have no idea what's going to happen. I don't think we're going to lose, but I don't think we're going to win, if that makes sense. If I had to make a score prediction, I'd probably say 13. If it's going to rain the whole time and be a storm, I would probably say 13-7 Falcons if I had to pick. Just because I think their running game will be a lot more potent. It was last time. I don't think our running game will be all as much as it should be or could be last time. Very conservative. It could be more just in case somebody makes some mistakes, but I think it's going to be 13-7. I think it goes way under. I think the total between both teams will be in the 20s. 13-7, a 13-10 type of game. And that's just being generous to the kickers. It's tough. It's tough. I'm going to be rooting for a win, but do I expect it? I don't. Hoping for the best, preparing for the worst. I'm pouring up a tall glass of bourbon. I would love a win over the Falcons, especially after we got robbed last time. But it is what it is. All right, last but not least, we got a segment called Contender or Pretender. I need y'all help on this one. Contender or Pretender. I need y'all help. So the way this one works is I have a list of teams. I'm going to give their background and record. I want y'all to help me out. Let me know if y'all think are they a contender or pretender. All right? Do you think they're legit teams, like they can contend, get to the playoffs and maybe make some noise? And it's not Super Bowl contender, but just to be playoffs down the stretch. Or do you think they're pretender? Like they've only been beaten up on scrub teams and they're not that good. All right? Let's play. I got a lot of teams. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 teams on here. Let's run it. The first team up at contender or pretender is the Titans. The Tennessee Titans are 5-3. They're 5-3 right now, leading the division, the lowly AFC South, which is almost just as bad as the NFC South. I don't know what's going on in the South. Something just wrong. But the Titans are 5-3. Obviously, Ryan Tannehill was hurt. They're coming off that loss with Malik Willis at quarterback. Are the Titans contenders or pretenders? The number 1 seed in the playoffs last year, are they contenders or pretenders? To me, I'm going to call them pretenders. I think they've only been beaten up on bottom feeder teams. They have 2 wins over the Colts. 2 of those 5 wins are against the Colts. Another win against the Commanders. They beat the Texans, and they beat the Raiders. Not really impressive wins there. Not really impressive wins. I think the Titans are phony. I don't think they've played anybody yet. Yes, Derrick Henry is a factor once it gets down the stretch and gets cold. Ryan Tannehill is okay, but we saw Ryan Tannehill fall on his face in the playoffs last year. Malik Willis hasn't done enough to steal the position, obviously. But I just think that the Titans aren't legit. There's a lot of football to be played the whole half a season. I just can't, like I said, 2 wins over the trash Colts, the Commanders, the Texans, and the Raiders. You're feasting on bottom feeders. I got to say that the Titans are pretenders. Josh says a contender. Okay. WizBiz says pretender. Brad Holt said pretender as well. Y'all agreeing with me. I just don't believe in them, man. I just don't believe in them, man. I just don't. Next up, contenders or pretenders. Sean Rice, what up, though? Next up, at a record of 6-3, the New York Jets. Are the New York Jets contenders or pretenders? The New York Jets, with Robert Saleh in the second year, Zach Wilson in the second year, are they contenders or pretenders? They're coming off a big-time win against the Bills. That was huge. That was huge. They have a lot of young talent, but I just feel like I'm waiting on the other shoe to drop. Maybe it's just my preconceived notion that they're just the Jets, da-da-da-da. And I think a lot of it has to do with me not believing in Zach Wilson. I'll call them a contender because I think they have a chance to make the playoffs. Because they've already beat the Dolphins. They've beaten the Bills. They lost to the Patriots, of course. Belichick just owns them. I don't think they're there yet. But I will call them a contender to potentially make the playoffs. Their division is tough. It's hard for me to call them a pretender at 6-3. But I don't think they get any. I think a playoff appearance is overachieving for them at this point. But like I said, I think the quarterback play will be their weakness. They have young talent. They lost Breece Hall, obviously, a running back, but they traded for James Robinson. They got Garrett Wilson. I think they're close, but I think they're not there yet. I call them a contender. I like them enough to call them a contender, but how deep they go, I can't trust it. I can't. I don't believe in the Cougar Slayer, Zach Wilson. I don't. Let's keep it moving. Next up, at a record of 5-4, the Cincinnati Bengals. Are they a contender or a pretender? The defending AFC champions, the Bengals. Now, y'all just saw them play the Panthers. If you saw them play the Panthers last week, and you're judging it just off that, even without Jamar Chase, you would think you would think they were going to the Super Bowl. You would think the Bengals are going to the Super Bowl based off of that 35-0 shellacking that they gave in the first half against the Panthers. But are the Bengals contenders or pretenders? Let me know. Like I said, another one of these teams that have beat up on bottom feeders. They just beat the Panthers. The only good win are against the Jets and the Dolphins. And they beat the Dolphins. They knocked Tua out the game. So you can't really give them full credit for that. But their only legit win is against the Jets. Jamar Chase is going to be out a few more weeks. Obviously, the Ravens are pretty much running that division right now. They haven't run away with it, but they're playing good ball. The Ravens have a very favorable schedule. So I like the Ravens down the stretch. Their back stretch of their schedule is brutal. That back stretch of that Bengals schedule is brutal. Let me see if I can find that schedule of the Bengals. Because they lost to the Cowboys earlier this year. They have Pittsburgh on the 20th. They're on a bye week now. They have Pittsburgh at Tennessee. They got the Chiefs. The Browns own them. They got to go to Tampa to play Tampa. They got to go to the Patriots. They have the Bills, and then they have the Ravens. That's a tough back stretch. That's tough. I got to call the Bengals pretenders. The Super Bowl hangover is real. Like I said, they beat up on bottom feeders. Without Jamar Chase, they're going to lose a couple of games, in my opinion, in this little stretch without him. They didn't put Jamar Chase on injured reserve, but clearly he makes a difference for their team. You didn't see that difference against the Panthers, obviously, but he makes a difference. Right there, right now they're the number 9 seed in the playoff hunt. I just don't see the Bengals. I don't see the Bengals as a legit team. I don't trust the coaching. The offensive line is garbage. Their defense is overrated. Joe Burrow will be lucky to last the whole season. Knock on wood. I'm rooting for the dude. But their offensive line is garbage. I got to call them pretenders. The Super Bowl hangover is real. I don't see them making the playoffs. I got them as an 8-win team. 8 wins is not going to get you into the playoffs in the AFC. It's not. Moving right along. Let's get back to the NFC. The next team up at a record of 4-4, the San Francisco 49ers. The San Francisco 49ers. Are the 49ers contenders or pretenders? Are they contenders or pretenders? A game away. They were NFC championship last year, a dropped interception away from going to the Super Bowl. Are the 49ers contenders or pretenders? It's hard to gauge these guys, man. I'm not going to lie to you. They've had a lot of injuries. Trey Lance got injured. Obviously, Jimmy G is probably the upgrade. As hard as that is to say. They beat the Rams twice, who they pretty much own, and the Rams are trash this year. They own the Rams anyway. Like, McVay is the little brother of Shanahan. It's just the way it is. They beat the Panthers, and then they beat the Seahawks. The Seahawks is a quality win. But they've also lost to teams like Atlanta. Then they got embarrassed by Kansas City. They do have CMC, and they will be coming off of a bye week now. Shanahan is very creative. Shanahan is going to find a way to get McCaffrey involved. They're getting McCaffrey. They're going to get McCaffrey involved. How long does McCaffrey hold up? Because Shanahan has a history of being hard on his running backs. He never had a running back like McCaffrey before. The closest has probably been with Alfred Morris, maybe Devontae Freeman as far as ability. I'm trying to think back in the years. He had Alfred Morris in Washington. He wasn't the head coach. He was the offensive coordinator. He was the offensive coordinator in Atlanta, had Freeman and Coleman. He's never had a guy like Christian because there's never been a guy like Christian. He's going to do a lot of different things with Christian McCaffrey. We saw him last time we saw him rushing, receiving, throwing touchdown. McCaffrey doing it all different ways. I honestly think that Christian McCaffrey, I love the guy. I don't think he'll hold up. I don't. I give Christian McCaffrey another month before he breaks down. I give him another month before he breaks down because Debo, he'll take the pressure off of it. Kittle maybe as well. But Shanahan is hard on running backs. I don't wish injury on anybody. I just don't see Christian holding up. I think Jimmy G's going to rely too much on him. I think he won't hold up the stretch. And I think once Christian goes, they're going to struggle because they got rid of Jeff Wilson. I don't know who's next up at running back. Their defense has some injuries as well. I mean, the bye week will help, so we'll see how they'll look. But I gotta call the 49ers pretenders. They will probably they'll make the playoffs. So I guess I have to call them contenders. I gotta call them contenders. They're gonna make the playoffs, right? Because I think they'll get into the playoffs. So I'll give them a contender. They're a contender to make the playoffs, but I just think that, like I said, Christian McCaffrey has already had the Christian McCaffrey effect that we all know too well. That you can't help but giving Christian McCaffrey the football because you can do it so many different and easy ways. They're going to fall in love with him too much. He gets hurt, and then you're in scramble mode after that. Shanahan is a better coach than anybody we've had calling plays, but I still think you can't help but fall in love with using Christian McCaffrey as much as possible. Hopefully Christian McCaffrey stays healthy. I like the guy. I love the guy. I'm rooting for Christian. Yes, Jimmy G is better than Lance. I see the comments. He's better than Lance. But how much is that saying? Is that saying a lot? I mean, he's a better win now guy than Lance, but like I said, I call him a contender because the NFC is so weak, they'll get in. But pretender because I just think if Christian they're waffling right now. If McCaffrey gets hurt, we've seen that script before, guys. We've seen what happens when you focus your offense on Christian and he gets hurt. Whether it's Nixon, whatever. Not even if it's not even anything serious. We just see what happens. We see what happens. All right, a couple more. At the record of 4-5, in first place in the NFC South are the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, contenders or pretenders. Let's be real. The Bucs have been horrible this year. They've been horrible. Horrible. They've been horrible in a horrible division. They even lost to us, the Panthers. We blew them out. Tom Brady, we talked about what Tom Brady's going through, the divorce, the injuries on offense, losing all that money in crypto. The Bucs are bad, man. It's hard to count out 12, but I'm calling them pretenders. They'll make the playoffs by default, likely because of the division. I hope we don't let them limp to a division championship, because we could be playing spoiler and beat the Falcons. We beat the Falcons, you're creating a lot more space. Right now, the Bucs are in first place, but they're definitely a pretender. Their back half of their schedule isn't that tough, though. So if they get anything together, they can make a run. They have alternating home and away games for the rest of the year. Home away, back, like alternating for the rest of the year. But they haven't given me any reason to be hopeful or any promise. I'm literally just giving them the benefit of the doubt of winning the division because their schedule is favorable and this division is trash. But as far as the grand scheme of Tom Brady, Buccaneers standards, they are definitely 100% fraud alert. You know how when you get a phone call, it says scam likely or fraud, potential fraud? The Bucs are not potential fraud. They are definitely fraud. They're fraud. Not scam likely. They're scam for sure. Potential fraud, they're definite fraud. Pretenders. All right, a couple more. At a record of 6-2, but yet third in their division, the New York Football Giants, are they contenders or are the Giants pretenders? I'm not exactly sure how the Giants are doing what they're doing right now. I don't know how they win. Daniel Jones doing what he has to do. Saquon Barkley balls. Defense makes some plays at certain times. I just don't know how they're winning games. They beat us. It was close. But, like, if you look at their schedule, if you look at the Giants' schedule, they could easily it's weird to say, but the Giants could easily get to double-digit wins. It's crazy to say it. The Giants could easily get to double-digit wins. Next up in Week 10, they have the Houston Texans. Then they have the Lions. They travel to play the Cowboys, which should probably be a loss maybe. Then they have the Commanders, who is a beatable team and not great. The Eagles are tough. That'll probably be a loss. Then they play the Commanders again. They play the Eagles twice, the Cowboys, and the Vikings. 4 legit teams that'll be a measuring stick for them. 4 legit teams that'll be a measuring stick for the Giants to see exactly how good they are. Right now, like I said, they're third in the division because of the Cowboys. However, look at the schedule. The Texans, the Lions, the Cowboys, Commanders, Eagles, Commanders again, the Vikings on the road, the Colts and the Eagles. They could get to double-digit wins because they're at 6 right now. It's called Houston a win. It's called the Lions a win. That's 8 wins. At least the Commanders once. That's 9. And the Colts is 10. That's double-digit wins right there. At worst, they'll split with the Commanders. They could sneak up and beat any of these other good teams like they had before. I don't know how they do it. They can easily creep up on them. But the Giants could easily look at 10 wins. So for the playoff perspective, getting to the playoffs, they are definitely a contender. They'll most likely make the NFC playoffs because 9 wins will get you into the playoffs. And there's no way I don't see them winning 3 more games at least. That's just me. So they're a contender to get to the playoffs, but they're a pretender when it comes to being a legit Super Bowl contender in the NFC. I don't see it. I do not see it. But they've been overachieving, man. Like, if they were to get to 10 wins, This lets me know that miracles can happen. You can turn around any team with the proper coaching and the right amount of luck. It's a testament of what it's an indictment on other coaches too. It's an indictment on Matt Rule's 7-year Jay-Z plan. Josh said the Giants might sneak in. Like I said, I think 9 wins can make them sneak into the playoffs. I don't think anybody's going to fear them. That's why I call them a pretender. But they're definitely a contender to get to the playoffs. I can't trust Daniel Jones. There's no way I can legitimately trust Daniel Jones. However, it is what it is, man. The proof is in the pudding. Like I said, they got the Texans and the Lions on these next 2 games. They got a bye week right now. But like I said, they got the Texans and the Lions. Them losing to the Seahawks let me know that they're not really there yet. But I think 9 wins will get them into the playoffs. I got the Giants as pretenders. Last but not least, we got to talk about this team, man. The team that everybody hates and loves to hate. At 6-2, second place in their division, the Dallas Cowboys, America's team. Are they contenders or pretenders? Let's look at their schedule because their schedule is very, very favorable. Like I said, very, very favorable. Right now, they're on the bye week for week 9. But coming out that bye week, they're going to Lambeau, who the Packers aren't good. I don't want to call it a guaranteed win because it's Aaron Rodgers playing the Cowboys. But the Packers, they got to go to Minnesota. That's going to be a tough one. The Giants could be a little tough, but they've already played the Giants and beat them. And that was with Cooper Rush. So and at home in Jerry World, I think they can beat them. Oops. Too far. Giants, the Colts, that's a win. Texans, that's a win. Jaguars, that's a win. Eagles, tough one. They lost to the Eagles. They only lost to the Eagles by 9 points with Cooper Rush. At the Titans. The Titans are doing solid right now, but they don't scare me. And then at the Commanders, and they've already beat the Commanders 25-10 with Cooper Rush. So let's count them up. Packers should be wins. Let's go to the guaranteed wins. The Colts, Texans, Jags, and Commanders. There's 4 more wins. That gets into 10 wins. I told you I think 9 gets in. There's 10 wins right there. They could easily beat the Colts. That Vikings game will be a great game. I want to see what the Vikings got. They could be able to knock off the Giants. I think I got to call the Cowboys, unfortunately, contenders. I think they'll definitely get to the playoffs. The NFC is wide open if they can show some fight against the Eagles. Like I said, the only 3 remaining scares are the Vikings, Eagles, and Giants. Everything else are winnable games. They could sneak up and steal the division depending on what Philly does. Philly's not going to run the table, so they'll lose one game. Will that one game be the Cowboys? Who knows? But will they lose before the Cowboys and then the Cowboys run the table and have a chance? Who knows? It's a lot of football left. I got to call the Cowboys contenders, man. Now, will they turn into typical Cowboys and flop in the playoffs? Of course. Let's be real, of course. But what can you say, man? What can you say? Cowboys are contenders, man. That was fun. We'll revisit this probably later on in the season. If the Cowboys get OBJ, if they get OBJ, that's going to be tough. It's an arms race right now. The Eagles are adding all the weapons. Eagles have all the weapons. They're stacking the deck. They got weapons of mass destruction. The Eagles not playing with nobody. Listen, NFC is wide open. They got a quarterback on a rookie contract. They are going for it. I respect it. Not to mention they got a potential top 5 draft pick with the Saints being trash. They're sitting pretty. They are sitting pretty. The Eagles are in a great spot. It's up to Jalen Hurts. But I didn't put them on the list because I legitimately think they're contenders. But the Cowboys got to call them contenders, man. Got to call them contenders. But you guys make sure you give the video a thumbs up if you have not. Give the video a thumbs up if you have not already. This has been the Dunk on Demand Show. Subscribe if you are not a subscriber yet. Panthers content, NFL content on Wednesdays, just like this. I'm dropping content a lot, man. Like I said, that draft content starting to come soon. Draft content probably coming soon. Keep our fingers crossed. Let's keep hope alive for the Falcons game. I'll probably be live streaming either after the game or sometime Friday to do my reaction to the game. Obviously, the film breakdown will be coming as well. A lot of different type of content, man. So y'all make sure y'all stick around. Please subscribe if you have not. I appreciate you guys rocking with your boy. We'll be back, not next week. I'm going on a cruise. But I will be dropping content next week. The next live stream won't be next week. But Sunday, I will be moderating a debate between Cody from C3 Panthers Podcast and Monty from 4-Man Rush. They're debating on C3 Panthers Podcast on the Cat Chronicles channel, whatever. I will be the moderator of this debate. So if you want to see me try to keep law and order between these fools, y'all tune in to that on Sunday at 5 o'clock. Sunday at 5 o'clock p.m., I will be moderating. They'll be debating various Panthers topics like Matt Corral versus drafting the quarterback, a lot of different stuff. I don't know. I'm just moderating. So make sure you guys tune in, man. I say want a defensive breakdown. I'll see if I can get to it, man, before tomorrow. But no doubt, next week will be next week's film breakdown will be defense for the Falcons game. If we didn't have such a fast turnaround, I would have did the Falcons, the defense as well. But I'll see what I can do. All right. I appreciate y'all tuning in, man. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.